Hi and welcome to another video. In this video I just wanted to go through the new routers that were announced at CES 2021 and also some that are available for sale currently, and to clear up the confusion that I've seen with some articles stating about the new Xiaomi AX6000 router being Wi-Fi 6E. So I just want to clarify that as well. So if we first of all go through, Netgear has announced their tri-band Wi-Fi 6E router. So this is a 10.8 gigabits per second router. So it's got the 6 gigahertz band, and it's using their Netgear Armor. So this is their seems to be a good trend now with all the large router companies, is that they're all using a security to protect you. So it's quite good. So as we can see here, the new router is the Netgear Nighthawk. So it's their like a Star Wars spaceship style. I think it's got a quad-core 1.8 gigahertz processor, 5 gigabit ports, and 2 USB 3.0 ports. It has a promised speed up to 10.8 gigabits per second transfer speed, of course, on the supported devices. It also offers 12 streams, so four streams on each of the bandwidths. And of course, as we said before, it's got the option of their Netgear Armor cyber security. So I think that's actually supported by Bitdefender. So you probably know that through their internet security and antivirus software. I think it's due to be released spring sometime in this year, in 2021. And I think it's around the pricing, as we see here, is around $599 or $600. So as we can see the shape here and on here as well. So as we can see here, it's got the normal 1 gigabyte per second, 4 LAN ports, and then you have also here you have the other ports here for the WAN. So you can then, I think you can aggregate the ports as well using this. So we have look down. As we said, it's using the new 6 gigahertz frequency, and you've got their normal Netgear Armor and their app you can download. So on their protection, it has VPN, so that's quite good, and guest network, and then the latest WPA3 security, as you'd expect from something like this. So as we can see here on the back of it, it has two 3.0 ports. So really I'd like to see at least 3.1 ports or USB-C now, especially for such an expensive top of the range router. So you've got your 1 gigabit LAN port, and then you do have a choice of 2.5 gigabit multi-gig port as well. So that's good, and it's got link aggregation as well. So you can aggregate or join together 2 gigabit LAN ports for faster file transfers. So that's good to see the LAN. They're starting to upgrade this now because of the speed of the Wi-Fi. So it should be in line with Wi-Fi 6E speeds. So basically the processor and everything else is roughly the same. So I don't see any change in that, or the RAM. So again, this is the only difference, is that the upgrade now has Wi-Fi 6E on here. And I think everything else is roughly the same as the previous model. So moving on here, TPLink actually have got 4 they've announced. So doing quite a lot of these new Wi-Fi 6E. This is their mesh network, so it's good to see companies are using the Wi-Fi 6E, even though we don't have any devices, not many coming out yet, especially mobile phones and other devices. So it's good to see that if in the mesh network they're actually using the 6 gigahertz frequency to join the 2 mesh networks together. So that's really good. As we can see here, they're like cylinder shapes. So these ones here have got speeds up to on the X96. This is the model, is up to 7,800 megabits per second. And of course this is a mesh network, so you can connect them all. And this also has, same as TP-Link, this has their cyber security service called Home Shield service. So again, that's for like antivirus and protect your Internet of Things devices for security. So overall, it looks quite good. As we said, it's got WPA3. Coverage is for a big enough home because it's on mesh network, and it has on the actual main router, it has a 2.5 gigabits per second port as well for Ethernet. So that's good to see as well, because there's no point having just 1 gigabit. Now we've got Wi-Fi 6E if you want to make it future proof, and as we said, it's tri-band. So this one looks quite good if you've got a large home and you want to obviously add devices later on, and it uses these 6 gigahertz frequencies to join them together. So that's good to see. So the next one that TP-Link has brought out is the X76. So this is the same mesh home network, but this one is just like probably their medium sort of range. So the other one was the X96, that was their top of the range. So this one is the up to 5,400 megabits per second instead of 7,800. Still got the Wi-Fi 6E, and most importantly, still got the 6 gigahertz band as well, so you can use that to connect the devices. So that's good to see as well. And it says there you can connect over 150 devices on there as well, so that's good to see. So you can see here you've still got Home Shield, so it's good to see even on the not top of the range ones they've got there. So you see you've got 3 gigabit ports, the Home Shield, and it covers up to this is a 3-pack you can get of this one, so it covers a larger range, an area of 7,200 feet. And as you can see here, it's just telling you about the improved speed and the capacity of Wi-Fi 6E. What we need to have a look here is to see if it's got, so you can see it's tri-band, and but we need to have a look to see. So it's got a slower processor instead of 1.8. It's got a 1.5 gigahertz quad-core processor, so it should be still fast enough. But the issue we do see here as well is this has got the Wi-Fi 6E standard, and it only has 3 gigabit ports. So that's a bit disappointing when you've got such high speeds connecting to Wi-Fi, and if you've got a NAS or something connected to your LAN, then only having gigabits when you're supposed to be able to connect faster than that over the Wi-Fi seems to be a bit pointless, to be honest. So it seems to defeat the purpose of actually having Wi-Fi 6E actually built into it. But again, this might be used primarily to the 6 gigahertz frequency, connect the actual units together. So it might be an advantage for you there. But also this has Zigbee built in as well, so that's good. As we know, that Zigbee is for light bulbs and other wireless devices. So it's good to see that's built in. But it's a bit disappointing we don't see the Ethernet ports on the back that are faster. So the third one is their Archer range, and this is the AX96. So this one here is I think their top of the range one. So this is one of their flagship ones. So again, you can see here it actually has around up to, I think, around 7,800. Yeah, so 7.8 gigabits per second. So this is Wi-Fi 6E, and you can see it has 1.2, so it has one 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port and 1 gigabit WAN and LAN and 4 gigabits. So it has enough Ethernet ports on the back for connectivity. So you can see on there. Again, it would be nice to start seeing some of these high-end routers, especially their price, perhaps seeing it a bit more future-proof, having a 5 gigabit per second Ethernet port on the back, even if it's just one. So it's good. So you can see here this is equipped with a 1.7 gigahertz quad-core CPU, so it's not as fast as the Netgear we saw, but still I think it's efficient and enough for there. So you can use their mesh network with this, and as again, this probably comes with their home security software they've got. And we can just go down here. We can see there's 8 fixed antennas on here, and we've got all the necessary there. So yes, it's got the 1.25 gigahertz, and it has one 3.0 port for USB and 1.20. So again, it's a bit disappointing with such a top of range router that you see a USB 2.0. I mean, it should be at least two 3.0s nowadays, or even a USB-C. So that's a bit disappointing to see they're actually doing that. And again, at least this comes out of the box with their Home Shield security and access to WPA3. So that's good. Moving on to lastly is the fourth. So this is the top of the range. So this is their AX1100. So this Archer AX206. So this is the equivalent to probably the Asus Rapture, the current GT. I think it's AXE1100. So these are the top of the range ones. So these are quite going to be quite expensive. As we can see here, it does come with premium 10 gigabit per second wired network as well, Ethernet. So that does have SFP plus port, and I think it has the normal port as well. So we can have a look at that later. But as you can see here, it has a 2 gigahertz quad core CPU, so that's more than enough speed for everything else. And then you probably need that speed to handle if you're going to have 10 gigabits going through this router. So if we have a quick look at the specification, we see so as we can see, it's still like the Spider. And if we go to specifications, we can see it's got their 8 detachable, so you can detach the antennas. And as you see, it's tri-band. It does have a DFS access to extra bands. And we can see here it's got a 2 gigahertz 64-bit quad-core CPU, so that's one of the fastest I've seen. And then you've got one 10 gigabit SFP plus port and 1 gigabit WAN or LAN port. So it's a normal Ethernet cable you've got. SFP plus is like fiber cable, so you can look that up. It's a different kind of cable, so it's good. As you can see, this is actually a premium router, so you can see that it actually has USB-C, so it's good to see, and USB normal A 3.0 ports. That makes sense, and it should be for this kind of price. As you can see, it comes with a normal home shield like the rest of the routers, and you can have networks as well for the guests, and it comes with everything. So again, this is probably one of the best routers that I've seen for capabilities and also specifications. But again, what it says on paper is not always what it matches when you actually come to test it. So that's all 4 of the TP-Link, as we've seen here. Now we're going on to Linksys. So as we can see here, this is the AXE8400. So again, this is a mesh network. So it's using the Qualcomm Networking Pro 1210 platform, and it has the Wi-Fi 6E. And I think this one here as well, again, has a USB 3, as we can see here, and it has multiple gigabit ports here. So also you can see here it has a 5 gigabit port as well, so that's really good to see on here. And then you can see here as well about the channels it's talking about. So again, it's running, like I said, on the 1210 platform from Qualcomm, so the processor should be fast enough. And this is a mesh network, this one, so it's quite good. So as we can see here, we can see a close-up picture I found. And on here you can see that you've got a USB 3 Type A port, and you've got 4 gigabit Ethernet ports and 1 5 gigabit. It does say internet, so I presume that it's only limited to your internet WAN, so it would be nice. Hopefully you should be able to change it to LAN, but we'll have to see when the settings and everything. And here's some other close-up pictures. So this is a mesh network, so as we can see, it'd be quite good if you've got a larger home and you've got the app as well that goes through and then shows you the details. So it's another good one if you've got a large home and it's actually using the Wi-Fi 6E to connect it. Second to last is the Asus. So this one again is building on a really good router, probably one of the best I've had. So I've got the non Wi-Fi 6E. So this is the Rapture GT AXE11000. So as we can see here, it sports up to 11 gigabits per second. Again, according to devices and real world testing and everything else. So as it says, it offers near identical specs, to be honest, as the GTX 11000, but it has access now to the 6 gigahertz spectrum. So there's like still a 1.8 gigahertz quad core processor with 4 gigabit LAN ports, a gigabit WAN port, and a 2.5 gigabit multi-gig LAN or WAN port as well. So it is a bit disappointing that such a good router, they could have really upped their game just by a little bit, instead of just changing the outer shell a little bit and then changing the chipset. They could have at least upgraded a few more things here to make it stand out. So again, it will be fast enough still, but for the money, and comparing it to say the some of the others like the Archer, where we can see here now they've literally got 10 gigabit and they've got two 10 gigabit ports on it, and it comes with a 2 gigahertz processor. So it's giving you more future proof. Again, it depends when they come out how much the prices are compared to each other, but it's a bit disappointing to see Asus just basically put a new chipset in and not upgrade any of the actual hardware below it. So it could have at least a 5 gigabit Ethernet port on there, the USB-C. Again, this should be still fast enough, and all the differences between this and last year's version is that this has got Wi-Fi 6E, so it's got access to the 6 gigahertz frequency. So again, it's a bit disappointing to see that Asus has not really done too much to upgrade the hardware and everything else. Again, this is a really good router. It has everything you ever need, like VPN, USB, but again, it's let itself down. So I think we'd have, due to testing and everything else, if I manage to get one, I'd like to actually see what compared to the Archer, their top of the range one, as I do have at home 10 gigabit per second Ethernet, so I have my switch and everything else, and then 10 gigabit per second Intel Ethernet cards in my computers. So yes, it was a bit disappointing anyway to see that Asus has not put more effort into such a high-end and expensive router. So it's a shame. Lastly, I just wanted to show this one here. So this is, you might have seen some articles, I think have been going around saying this is the one of the first for sale Wi-Fi 6E. So it's the Xiaomi AX6000. So they're calling it a Wi-Fi 6E router because it has the 4K QAM, QAM. So as you can see here, it's got much more lanes for connecting with data and everything else. So it's supposed to give you much more capacity. And as it states here as well, it's a 20% increase. But the thing is just because it has the 4K QAM technology doesn't mean it's actually running it's Wi-Fi 6E. So to confirm, I did speak to someone, and then having a look here is that this is just normal Wi-Fi 6, but they're calling it Wi-Fi 6 enhanced. So the E is not for the actual 6 gigahertz frequency or the standard. Actually, E is for enhanced. So it's a different version, just because it has the 4K technology built into it. It does look a good router, I must say. It's got a 2.5 gigahertz gigabit per second Ethernet port, and I think it has 4 LAN 1 gigabit ports. You can see the aerials on there and everything else, and it does look quite good. And for the price as well, I think it's around 80 or 90 pounds, or even around about $105, $110. So I mean, for the price, you really can't go wrong, and it has a Qualcomm processor as well in it. As you can see, it still looks like a huge router here, and it's got a heat sink and everything else. But yeah, just don't get confused if you do see it, because there are quite a few articles I've seen calling it Wi-Fi 6E when it's not. The E actually stands for enhanced, and it's not actual, doesn't have a 6 gigahertz frequency, so it's just normal Wi-Fi 6. And I think they've cleared that up on their website as well now. Okay, I hope this has been a little bit helpful and given you some insight into the new routers that are coming out that are Wi-Fi 6E enabled. And I said overall, I'm quite looking forward to getting the Archer, the AX206 when it comes out, to see what that's like. But again, it's a bit disappointing. So they're one of the best routers out there. Asus haven't upped their game a little bit more. Okay, thanks for watching, and have a great day.